how are you? My name is Brandon from Gearist.com and welcome to our first episode of Ask Gearist. As of now, Ask Gearist will be a weekly show where we look at your questions right here for everybody to see. So please send us your questions by emailing info@gearist.com. Find us on Facebook, which you can find at facebook.com/Gearist, or Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want. In fact, while you're here on YouTube, why don't you drop a question into the comments section below of this video. Our first letter actually does come from Facebook, and it comes from Catherine H. Catherine writes, I'm not sure if this is the sort of question you could address in your mailbag video series. It is. But I'm trying to find a trail shoe and have some questions. The biggest one being, does it make sense to look for the same traits in a trail shoe that I look for in a road shoe? I have a pair of NewBalance WR10s that I really like. She says, I'm not a hardcore minimalist, I just really liked them when I tried them on. And I was wondering if I should look first at some of the minimus trail shoes that New Balance has made when I'm trying out trail shoes. Is this an okay approach, or should I be looking for trail shoes with completely different criteria? I realize that there are going to be some differences with respect to grip, but as far as fit, drop support, toe box width, and things like that. Thanks, Catherine. This is actually a really great question, Catherine. I'm sure one that not a lot of people know the real answer to. The first thing that everybody should know is that this right here is a picture of the New Balance WR10s. It's essentially the New Balance Minimus 10, and they're in 10v2 right now. In the case of New Balance, there's actually a 10v2 trail, which you can see right here. Speaking completely objectively, regardless of brand or any of that kind of stuff, I think that it's always a really wise idea to keep your body in the same place where you are in one shoe to the next. Now, when we test things here at Gearist, we have to go all over the map with those things, but you get to pick and choose exactly what you want. So, for Catherine's case, if she's used to something with a very low or zero drop, like the 10v2 or 10 that she's using from New Balance, I would suggest staying exactly where you are. Primary thing is to probably focus on drop and toe box, for my mind. The reason that I say that is because when you start messing with drop, you start messing with the posterior of the lower leg, the Achilles, the calf, which is made up of the gastroc, soleus, and so on and so forth. And those parts of your leg are prone to injury if you start going up and down in drop a whole lot. So that's a biggie. Another thing to really look at is that toe box width. As you can see here, the toe box width in the 10v2 is very generous, and I really like that a lot personally. Now, here's a couple shoes that are made by Mizuno that are actually meant to be complementary. When you can't find a shoe, again, there's the 10v2 trail and 10v2 road. When you can't find shoes like that, there are often shoes in the same family by the same brand where you can really get pretty close. This is the Mizuno Hitogami. This is the Hitogami 1. The Hitogami 2 should be out right now, depending on when you're watching this. This shoe is a road shoe. I actually really enjoyed this shoe. It's got a 9mm drop, if I'm not mistaken, but runs and feels like it's much lower. Probably actually around 4 in terms of the way that my foot and my body interprets it. I'm not sure why that is. It just is. Here is the Mizuno Hayate. This is a complementary shoe to this. This came out shortly at, this is actually also really dirty. This came out shortly after this, and these shoes are meant to work very much together. Now you can see where the drop, at least cosmetically, the drop on the outside, is quite similar. You can actually also see where the flex grooves here are quite similar. Maybe not the flex grooves so much, but these are meant to take place of these right here. The other thing that is very important to note that Catherine also mentioned in her email is that toe box. You can see, again, it is very similar. I am a really big fan of keeping your body doing what it's comfortable doing. So making sure that you're going into a shoe, obviously that's going to have trail traits in terms of traction and things like that, but making sure that you're going into a shoe that you're very comfortable running in is going to make the transition process from road to trail that much more fun. I'd also add to that the fact that there are companies that make shoes that are kind of hybrid shoe, or at least trail shoes that work as a nice hybrid. Two that pop to mind right off the top of my head are the Mountain Trainer, the MT from Topo Athletic, as well as the Everlong from Patagonia. Both of these shoes are shoes that run very well off and on road. They're not the most technical of trail shoes, but they do a really great job nonetheless. Thanks so much, Catherine, for giving us that question. We really appreciate it. If any of you guys watching want to submit a question, as we mentioned earlier, you can do so in a number of ways. The first of which is to just leave one in the comment section of this video right down below. You can also email us, info@gearist.com. Find us at Twitter and Instagram @TheGearist, and on Facebook by going to facebook.com/Gearist and just shoot us a message right there. To get to those social networks, you can see all our networks right over here, as well as the subscription button to our YouTube channel right down there, because you never know when somebody else is going to be asking a question that you might have, and we can answer that for you. Thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.